All right, we'll see if everyone's on Twitch. Somehow we lost the link for some reason. Ladies and gentlemen, if anyone can hear me out there right now, throw something in the chat so we can see what's going on. Really bizarre. Anyone out? You can still hear me, right, Jeff? Okay. Here we go. All right. All right, welcome everyone. This is Beyond the Strange TV, broadcasting live from the Napa Valley wine country. Seem to have some technical difficulties there at the beginning, so I apologize. I'm glad that the Elf Man can hear us. Tonight we do have Jeff Renel joining me tonight. Russ Bailey is taking the night off. Really quick, please go to beyondthestrange.com and register and at the website. I'll get you hooked up to the monthly newsletters and chat and all that stuff. Keep you in the know for future shows, giveaways, prizes, contests, all that good stuff. So please register at beyondstrange.com. Also, you can follow me, Dave Cruz, on Twitter at StrangeDave70. And you can follow the show, Beyond the Strange, at Strange Days 2015. Remember, that's for Twitter only. Also, please follow Beyond the Strange Facebook page and the Beyonders group in Facebook. Also on MeWe. And most of the time, I'm on MeWe. I have gone back to Facebook once in a while just so I can talk to my guests, because sometimes that's the only way you can talk to them. For some reason, they just, don't do anything else but Facebook. So I have to bend a little to the Facebook knee, unfortunately, and I go back there once in a while. So anyways, you can go there. There is an official Beyond the Strange Discord channel, Strange Chat Room, where there are plenty of fringe topics to discuss with a friend during the show or to get more information about a certain subject. Go to beyondthestrange.com and click on the show chat tab at the top of the page, and that'll get you hooked up to the Beyond the Strange Chat Discord room. I'm on Telegram and Signal under Dave Cruz, and you can write me write to Dave at beyondthestrange.com. And if you have any guest suggestions, or if you just want to pick a topic or something like that you'd really like to hear, just drop me a line. I get email once in a while, and I do answer the emails, so I check out all my emails. So please do that. It's better than having to go back to Facebook and looking at my messages under Beyond the Strange. It's like again, I don't like to do all that stuff. I probably miss 10 or 15 a week because they write to me on Messenger and all that stuff, and I'm just like, dude, just please write me an email or find me on Telegram if you want to talk to me. So or you can always go to the website, and there's a chat message little dealio. You can write me a message there, and it'll get me on the email. So there you go. So please do that. And last but not least, please subscribe to Beyond the Strange YouTube channel, also Twitch, and please hit the like button or leave a comment during the live stream. And that's about it. And let me please read our guest's bio really quickly, because we've already lost some time. Jeff Renel is a Theta healing practitioner and instructor, specializing in spirituality and programs held within the subconscious mind. His passion is to understand his own spirituality and connection to the creative energy of all that is. He is also the creator and host of eTalk.tv and Consciously Rising. You Learn more about Jeff Renel at www.jeffrenel.com. Jeff, thank you, my friend, for joining me tonight on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, Dave. I really appreciate that. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. Yes, it's starting to become a frequent thing. I appreciate that. I appreciate the video too, because I think people feel a better connection when they can see people, and I think that's really cool. That's a really good thing. So again, I really appreciate that. So thank you. And for those of you who were in the chat room, I see it slowly but surely starting to fill up again. Thank you very much. Not sure what's happening with YouTube. We may have lost that connection. Thanks, Elf, for checking that out. Let me know if YouTube is happening, because I'm running the show. I can't really do all that stuff right now. But thanks, everyone, for hanging out. So, Jeff, how you been, man? I mean, it's been quite a while since we talked last.
Yeah, actually, I've been really good. Life's been treating me great. I have no complaints. I think I'm sure there's a lot of people out there still having a good life, even through this pandemic and all this fun stuff. But my life hasn't changed much. Well, I moved, and I think I mentioned that to you last time. I moved to Salt Lake City from Las Vegas. And mainly because of the pandemic. I didn't want to suffer financially and stuff. I figured Vegas would collapse pretty well, especially the governor out there. Sisolak isn't very intelligent. So wanted out of there, moved to Salt Lake City, and absolutely love it here. I lived here before, back in 2006 for about 5 years. And so I have some friends out here as well. But I moved out here to Salt Lake City, and it's been a blast since the day I got out here. It's been nothing but good times and good people and good food. So, I got no complaints. Actually, everything's been so fun that I haven't been actually studying or researching a lot of stuff, I got a quick month and a half hanging out with Brad Olson and hanging out with Eric at Awakening Man for a while as well too. So that was a lot of fun, and that's was just recent. So, but life is good, man. I got no complaints.
That's good, man. And I love hanging out with Brad Olson and Eric, and those guys are just really just cool to hang out with and discuss all these topics, about all the things that people don't realize is happening in the world right now, and what's happening to us and that kind of thing. So it's definitely that's like a great synchro to be around people like that and raise your vibrations. I do believe in that, Jeff. I do believe that because I've always been a Christian. People that follow the show, they know I'm a Christian. I'm not a Bible thumper, but I do believe in Jesus Christ. I do believe a lot of the things that happened in the Bible, as far as being represented by some of the stories in the Bible. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on today. I'm finding it looks like it's been prophesized. I mean, I don't know if you would agree with me on that or not.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I've pretty much studied and stuff and looked at talks about going through some trials and tribulations in the future, which I think that is now, and that is going to catapult us into a higher evolution. And I do believe that is what we're going through right now. What I see happening, this Q movement or whatever we want to call it, it has really opened people up. It has taught people to go out there and do their own research and find their own answers instead of just getting it on the news and stuff. And that's helping awaken people. And what a lot of people don't realize is in the most darkest of our times is usually when we wake up the most, because of having that fear and that separation of God, creative energy, whatever you want to look at it at. When you're in a traumatic time, you feel that separation, and that usually actually brings us closer to God, because we want that that love feeling. We want that
Mhm.
comfort, that support. So it usually brings us closer. And that's what I think I'm seeing throughout this whole world right now is I think I see a great awakening.
Mhm.
And it is because there is such a contrast between good and evil right now. And I think we, as the public, we can see that. And I love it. I think it's making great changes. I feel bad that some people are going through really hard times right now,
Yeah.
but when you understand spirituality and all of this, it's one of the best times of our lives is to go through some hard times truly, because that's when we grow the most. I know my growth, and one of my biggest growths in my life is after I lost everything when the economy collapsed in 08, 09. I lost everything I had, and my business at that time was booming. It was I was doing the best I've ever done in my life. And then all of a sudden lost everything. And I was building for my family, all this. And then next thing, everything was gone. But in the period of losing everything, I always like to say I found myself and I made huge changes. So I think right now with what's going on, I think it is that great awakening. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
What do you feel that this pandemic, as you mentioned earlier, what do you think that's headed towards? I mean, I have a good idea of what it's headed towards, but I'm not sure if people who are starting to awake. I don't like the term woke because I really think it got bastardized. Um, that whole woke thing is nothing that has to do with anything we talk about, in my opinion. But being awake is definitely what we want to be. When it comes to all these things that we talk about and what's going to help us in the next few years, and who knows in the next level of whatever we wherever we go. Um, this pandemic seems to be, constructed and narrated by a really deep state, dark cabal, in my opinion. And I don't mean that because that's what I hear. I mean, I've done the research. I'm doing my research. I'm listening to people with an open mind and, more importantly, an open heart. What is going on? Why are people? Why are these guys doing this? Where are we headed?
Well, I think we all have an idea what's happening here and where we're headed, and it's a lot of things all in one. But basically, I mean, it's the new world order. They want
Right.
to have control over the whole world. So this is their way of doing it, is by bankrupting us, put stress into our lives. And the biggest thing, and this is the thing that we need to realize, is they're putting fear into our lives, and fear is the biggest crippler that could possibly be. When you're in fear, you don't know how to make the right decisions. You're stressing out to where your immune system goes down and stuff. So the fear part of it, I think, is one of the worst, but they are trying to slowly take control over us. And I think where we're at in our in history here with technology and everything, I think they have a lot of the tools they believe they need now to actually put the final pieces in place. Um, I do believe the Q and the Trump movement put a big put a big wrench in there. But yeah, I do believe it's the deep state trying to create the new world order and trying to basically take control of this whole world.
I would have to agree with a lot of that. I'm not so sure about what's happening with the Q movement. Before I could see a lot of the things that were told beforehand, with Trump, with Q, um, and then it slowly started to not. I mean, I want to say fizzle out. Um, in other words, I'm not paying attention anymore, and I'm definitely not paying attention to mainstream media because mainstream media is picking it up and running with it. So I feel that perhaps it's better to do the research on my own and not so much follow a movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I agree with you there too. And I think it isn't about Q or anything of that. I think what it did was start start an energy and a move in that movement. I guess I want to go back to. But we don't want to depend on one person, one thing. It's not like, it's not Trump that's going to save us all. It's not Q that's going to save us all. It is we, the people, that are going to save ourselves. And that's what I love about it, is I believe it woke us up and made people start to ask questions and start to look at things for themselves and not just trust what they're seeing on the internet and on the news and stuff. So I believe that's where where we're waking up. It's a whole new rise of evolution, if you want to say, for us, because we're waking it up and making a choice to move forward. I can't think of how I want to say that there. Sorry about that.
No problem. We can get back
But
to
it's
that.
just moving forward spiritually and evolving into what we should be. And that's, more caring, more loving beings than what and we've kind of been repressed because of the deep state and what they've done to us. A lot of people don't understand what they truly are as spiritual beings. We're a spiritual being having a human experience. And if you look at life like that, it's a lot different than just being a human being. But they take that away from us. They don't let people understand what you truly are as a human being. And so I think a lot of this is going to come out into the open as well, too.
Yes, I think you're right. I'm starting to see a little bit more of their plan, going into action. And when I say they, we know who they are. Yesterday was a terrible shooting in San Jose, California, where 9 people lost their lives, and a person, the person who did it, was a white male. A lot of ethnic people were killed, and Biden is running with this, going back to saying we need tougher gun laws, trying to take the guns again out of our hands, out of our homes, so we can be defenseless of whatever else comes our way in the future. Do you see that this trend is going to keep going, or do you think this is something that's just going to happen for a little while and it's going to die down? Because I think looks like it's starting to rev up.
Yeah, I believe now that they feel that they're in a position of power, that they're going to keep pushing it even harder now. They've been pushing this agenda for the longest time. I mean, I'm in Vegas. I was there when I wasn't at the event when that shooting happened in October 1st, but I was living in Vegas at that time. And I mean, from everything I hear, it definitely seems like it was some type of false flag event. But they pushed during that time. They pushed during all these shootings. I do believe, yes, they are after our guns because they can't really lock us down right now until they take our guns away. It's going to be hard for them to have total control until they take our guns away. Once they take our guns away, then they have control. I'm not a person that, I've never in my life needed guns or feel like life is that dangerous where I have to have a gun or carry a gun with me. But you better believe with the events going on now, I definitely have a few different guns and making sure that I am definitely well stocked right now, just for my own safety, my family's safety. Again, not like I need to go use it against anybody, but if I have a government that's coming after me, you better believe I'll use it and I'll defend myself just like our forefathers wanted us to. Yep. And I hope everybody else would as well.
Yes, I do agree with that as well. I have butted heads not only with the far left people that I know, and sadly don't see the same, and again, I understand, we're all going to have our own opinions about things, but when it comes to something like this, again, we know who's awake, we know who's not awake, and we know who's been programmed, and they're having a hard time breaking from that. What do you suggest for people to start raising their awareness, raising their vibration, maybe perhaps practice what you've been teaching?
I think the best thing to do is just to start to feel yourself, understand your feelings. What are you feeling? and start to create the feelings you want to feel. So imagine, what do you want to feel? If you want to feel peace and happiness, relax. This is where you could meditate or whatever you want to call it, but just relax and start to capture that feeling that you want to live in. Because how we truly connect with our universal energy, God energy, whatever you want to look at it, but how we manifest and truly connect with that universal energy is by our feelings. Our feelings are the true connections. Our thoughts are just how we move things, how things start to go into motion. But our feelings are the true calling card to what we're asking for in creation. Okay. And you get everything you ask for in creation because you are God. You're creating it for yourself. And you really have to realize that as well, too. You are the creative energy of all that is. You're creating your whole existence in front of you. And that's by your feelings. And so if you don't understand what your feelings are inside and have never really felt what your feelings are, and most of us don't, especially male, we're not taught to feel our feelings. I know when I first started to learn this and started to feel my feelings, I mean, there's an outside feeling and then there's an inside feelings. The outside feeling is the one I kind of portray to everybody around me. I mean, I try to have one feeling altogether now that I know the difference, but there's an internal feeling that we have too. And that's the one I really have to go and start to tap into, because that's the one you're going to realize, what am I asking for in life? What am I calling out there for? Do I think life is violent? If I think life is violent, then that's what I'm going to see as violent things in life. If I think life is attacking me, every experience I go into, I'm going to feel like life's attacking me. So those are the feelings we really need to change, and we need to relax. It's like, I know when this first started happening, I even lost some of my teachings and stuff, and I started to get overwhelmed with all this stuff. And I started feeling, oh my God, these people are taking over my lives. And I had to realize, go, wait a minute, I am the creative energy. What am I doing being worried about all of this stuff? So all I had to do is just start to relax and start to remember who I am and go back into the energy of what I want to create in my life. And so I create that feeling deep inside in my heart. I create the feeling I want to project in life, the feeling and the energy I want to live in. And once I start to feel that in my heart and truly feel it, then it starts to projecting out there. It's basically this. It's like, if I'm depressed in the morning, that creative energy goes, oh, Jeff, you want to be depressed today. Let me give you things to be depressed about. Right. And so I'll go out into life and I'll find things to make me even more depressed, because that creative energy loves me so much. It's going to give me everything I want. So it'll give me more things to be depressed about. And until I say, you know what, I want a happy, loving life. And until I put that feeling deep inside of me, I just can't say I want a happy, loving life. And boom, there's my happy, loving life. I have to truly make a choice inside me and create that feeling within my heart that I want a loving, peaceful life. And then it starts to come. Then life starts to give that to you. And then you start to notice different things, and boom, next thing you know, your life has changed. And it happens to all of us. It's what we focus on. And so if we're focusing on all this chaos outside of us, then that's what we're going to do and create in our life is the chaos. But if we go inside our heart and just relax and have peace and love, then that's exactly what's going to come in front of us. And so we truly are stronger and more powerful than any of these beings that are, the deep state or whatever, that, we're way stronger than they are. We're giving them our power. And that's the thing we need to do, is take our power back. And that's exactly what I'm talking about here. Bring your energy back, create the world and see the world you want to live in. And that's exactly what you're going to create. What they're doing to us is they're putting and projecting out on our media and all these different things, the world they want to create. And what happens, we see it and think this is what the world is. Right. And we create feeling inside of us and say, oh my God, this is the way the world is. Oh shit, we're in trouble now. And that's not the truth. They're just projecting that to us. That's the illusion of the world. The illusion is what we're seeing in front of us, and we can change that illusion at any time we want.
When it comes to satanic cults and I want to say these groups that we've heard along, throughout history, like Skull and Bones and these, you know which ones I'm talking about, the ones that are related more to the Illuminati. I don't even think it's Illuminati anymore. I really believe it's just the New World Order, and it's under one main group, which I don't want to really say right now, but I'm pretty sure we'll start talking about it in the future because I feel that there is a satanic agenda, which whether it's to show people that there really is a dark side, and if you don't come to the dark side, you're gonna lose. You're gonna be a loser or whatever like that. I see a lot of hand gestures from artists and stuff like that, and people can say it's a trend, it's a fad, it's just what artists and actors and people do. But I don't think that's really the case. I really believe it is a way that they communicate amongst each other. But what I'm getting at is in order for us to maintain a positive attitude and to have a higher vibrations, do you suggest we don't listen to any of this kind of rhetoric or anything like that that's happening out in the world? I mean, I want to believe everything's puppy dogs and kittens, but I've been told like that. That's someone's brought that up to me. I would love that, but there's things out there that and I guess what I'm trying to say is how do I change my reality? How would I change it?
So I'm one that you can't ignore things in life. If you ignore things, that's when you're going to get in trouble, because we live on this planet with other beings and other spirits and stuff. And so they're going to do what they're do when we interact together and stuff. And there's laws that we work with here together. And so my look on this, again, it goes back to feeling, it goes back to energy. How am I giving my energy away to these things? And that's exactly how I said it there. Giving my energy away. Okay. And so I can watch the news and I can see the stuff going on, and then I sit there and I just go, that's very interesting. And I basically, I'm separating myself, putting a wall there, basically just saying, hey, that's their world. This is my world. It's very interesting because there's plenty of different worlds on this planet right now that we're all living. Every single person has a different world they're living on this planet. So we're all living different worlds right here. And so we can sit there and observe somebody else having a different type of world, a different type of reality than we would like to have on this planet. And it doesn't have to be part of our existence. When it becomes a part of my existence is when I accept it and I go, oh my God, look at what's going on. Now I just pulled it right into my reality and into my world. Now it's part of my existence. When I just go, oh, that's very interesting. I would hate to be them, or I'd hate to be in that, I create a separation and I realize it's not part of my creation on this planet. It's just part of their creation, and they can have that because, hey, I'm all about free will and stuff. And if you want to experience that, more power to you and stuff. I just, I'm not about the evil stuff myself. But I realize, after studying spirituality and stuff, I realized that there really is no evil. It's just all pure love. I mean, unfortunately, it seems as evil on this planet, and the way we are connected here are disconnected the way it feels. So evil stuff seems really, really bad, but it's just an experience. What we're here we're here to experience things, and we'll all experience exactly what our spirit has chose to experience. And so some will be good, some will be bad. And, we want to look bad. I mean, I'm not praising these people at all, believe me,
No,
but
yeah.
we need evil people, or negative people, evil people, bad people, however you want to look at it. We need that in our lives to have that contrast so we can understand love. I think the only reason we're here, the reason we're here to experience on this planet, is to understand love, and love in a deeper form. And so that is going to be through pain and suffering. It's going to be through experiencing love and joy. It's going to be all of that, but we're here to experience that. That's my belief. That why we're here on this planet is just to experience love, and we're going to experience in many different forms. And when we leave this planet and we go back to our higher self, whatever you want to look at it, but when we leave this planet and move forward, we're going to be able to look back on this and see what we've learned and how we felt separated and everything. We're only feeling separated because that's the only way we can have a true human experience. If I knew how I was connected to creator and everything like that and that creative energy, then death and all of that wouldn't mean anything to me, because I knew there is no death, there is no separation. It's just that illusion of the experience. This is just all one big daydream that we're having right here, as far as I'm concerned. It's just a conscious dream.
That's
Did I go a little bit off to the left
I
there?
wish I could just think that way. I mean, seriously, I mean, it'd be nice to be able to fly. I mean, without an airplane or a parachute.
We truly can, in my belief. But the only thing that's stopping us is our subconscious programs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only thing holding us in this body, is our subconscious programs, the positive and the negative ones. And it's because we believe we can't fly is why we're not flying. Once we remove the programs that are holding us in this place, then you can start to do things. It's actually a safety mechanism, because you want to stay protected and safe, that we don't do these different things. We have telepathy, all of this stuff, all these psychic abilities exist. Every single person has them. Nobody's special. The only difference is you can accept certain things better, and it's because of your subconscious programs. When I started learning how to tap into my psychic abilities, or I just want to call them senses. They're not psychic abilities.
Sure.
They're just other senses we have. And so when I started to learn how to read people, and starting to take my conscious and put it into other people, and be able to read their energies, read their feelings, all the different stuff, look through their bodies, I started to have an awakening in myself. I had to start to understand love better. I had to understand understanding better. I had to have better compassion. I mean, I had to improve myself on all these different levels to truly be able to look inside somebody's body, because that's a special gift, to be able to look inside somebody's body and see in there. Because I can sit here and read anybody's feelings right now. It's not, anybody can do it. But when I go in to read their feelings, am I going to start to make fun of them? Am I going to, oh my God, I can't believe you're feeling that? And so you're not going to be allowed to tap in and feel that and read somebody unless you improve yourself and you become a better conduit to that creative energy, until you are more connected. You're more of that loving spirit. Then you're connected. It is, but it's only me that's disconnected. It's no person out there saying, oh, you're not a good person, you can't look into Dave today and read Dave's energy and stuff. It's only us. And all of my restrictions were all me. It was when I started to let go, when I started to understand certain things, then it was easy for me to tap in. And now it's super easy. I mean, everybody has this ability. It's so easy to read energy. I mean, you can read anything. You can put your conscious in absolutely anything, no matter where it's at in this whole existence, whatever galaxy, universe you want to go to, you can drop your conscious in there, because you are that.
I'm going to take you up on your offer a while back. We haven't had a chance to really do a one-on-one session, but I definitely do want to do that one of these days with you, Jeff. And I highly suggest that for anybody listening tonight and is listening to the program. We are speaking with Jeff Renel, who is a Theta healer, and Russ Bailey has the night off tonight. Thank you all for joining us tonight to catch up. Lately you've been doing I've been seeing some things on Telegram, by the way, and for everyone out there, Jeff is on Telegram. He does have a group, and he also has his regular Telegram messenger, whatever you want to call it. But there's some stuff that he's been doing. He's sent in the group, which is very interesting. So can you explain, is this some kind of anomaly type thing that you're doing here with this group of people?
Is that the one at the bridge?
I want to say yes. You're probably with about 3 or 4 people, and you have like some water that's kind of moving around, kind of weird, and then you got a basketball that's kind of going in different directions without really pushing it and stuff. I'm going to try to play it for everyone here. So really quick, let me go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Yep.
Yeah, the car one's probably the best. That's the one with me and Dave, or not me and you. Me and
Right.
Brad are in the car. Me and Brad Olson.
Yeah, I thought that was Brad. Uh, this one is okay. So in the beginning, you are, or somebody is, they have a jug of water and they're pouring it on the ground.
Yeah, so where we're at, up in Utah here. We're just outside of Salt Lake City. There's a little small old mining town called Copperton. And so some of my friends up here, Johnny Darger and his son Jad, were telling me about, well, he's been telling me a lot about his UFO experiences, but then he started to mention this place called Gravity Hill. And I'm like, so what's Gravity Hill? And he goes, well, it's a place where gravity goes uphill. I'm like, get out of here. So I finally got him to take me. And luckily, Brad was in town at that time. So we went up there. And we went in the middle of the night. So unfortunately, the footage isn't that great. I brought my infrared stuff to film, but it just wasn't picking it up the same. So I'm actually going to try to go back there and get some footage in the daytime and take some better footage. And I'm going to want to bring a level with me as well, too. But we're at a place called Gravity Hill, and this is right by a copper mine. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, because I was wondering if maybe there's some minerals or something under there where it's creating a magnetic effect. But gravity actually goes uphill. So my first thought was this, that, yeah, something's going on with the minerals and everything under the ground, and it's creating some type of magnetic energy. The reason I'll go away from that is because we used a basketball as well, and that's the one we had the best experiences with, well, besides the car. And the basketball has nothing metal in it, but the basketball still rolled uphill. So it's a little small hill that you'll be coming into Copperton, and it's right when you come into Copperton, you go under a bridge. And so as soon as you get to the bottom of the bridge, you can stop your car right there.
For a second, Brad.
Put it in neutral, and you'll roll right uphill.
Definitely.
That is bizarre. So the way the water is streaming right now is actually going up the hill.
I mean, even with it going slanting to the side a little bit here, it's still
so with the water
to the side, because it should be going that way down.
So I don't know if you can hear me on that, but so with the water, it was a little bit more deceiving. It was still going uphill, but if you're familiar with how they make roads, the roads always sit high right in the center. So the water was rolling away from that pitch, but it was still rolling uphill. And you just got to trust me. The video, I don't think you noticed it as well, but it definitely was going uphill. The last video we have there with the car, me and Brad got in the car, he filmed it, and we probably were going uphill in my car about 5 miles an hour backwards.
Clearly neutral, and now we're moving.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Bridge.
Oh, interesting.
And this road was clearly cut into the hillside.
That is really weird.
The railroad bridge.
Yeah, a cop tried to come over there too. He stopped while we were there, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we told him, of course, and he's like, "Oh, that's just an optical illusion." And I'm standing next to his vehicle, looking at the hill, and it's like, there's no optical illusion. You can see the hill right there. There's, it's amazing. But there's actually another place here in Salt Lake City that I'm going to go to here soon. It's by the Capitol downtown, and it has the same phenomenons there. Things go uphill there as well.
That is really, really interesting. I'm going to have to go. Yeah, I can see.
We're not rolling downhill.
So when you're at the end of this video, you can see the way it's actually looking like you're going down from the car, but you guys were actually rolling up. That's really cool. Actually, I'd really love to check that out on my, in person.
And you're more than welcome to come down here, Dave. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff that we can go do. We got Dugwood grounds right here as well too. Skinwalker's only a few hours away from here as well too. I'm hoping to make a trip out there soon with Brad, actually, to one of his friends' places out there, which is right next door. So we're looking forward to that. But yeah, you're more than welcome to come out here anytime, dude. We can go venture around. There's a bunch of fun places out here, but I'll take you there. We'll go up to the other place. It's very interesting. You have to experience it. You really do.
No,
I never.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely, it looks very interesting to say the least. Wow. So, is there anything else that you've been focusing on besides what's happening in the world and that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, another fun place that me and Brad went right
Mhm.
before Gravity Hill.
Mhm.
We actually, I didn't know that until just recently, but Ted Bundy lived here in Utah
Oh, that's
and
right.
went to Utah University and actually, unfortunately, raped and killed quite a few women out here.
Right.
But there is a house. There's just basically the basement now and just the entrance into the basement. And some of those pictures are on Telegram as well too. I don't believe the little description I gave about what we're doing came out on there. I'm still trying to figure out how to use Telegram, so not
I can
everything
see it
is
at the
coming
bottom,
across that
actually.
I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I can see it. It says, did some of the filming at the infamous Ted Bundy's cellular just on the outskirts of Salt Lake City. 3 female bodies were found here. Ted is known for killing and raping over 30 women, but they believe the number could be as high as 100. And as soon as you go through the footage, you say you'll post more. So what we're looking at right now is some spray paint with some very weird stuff that's written on this wall. Is it a stone? It's like a stone wall or something. What is that?
Yeah, so that's the entrance going down into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's basically left of the house is that part of the cellar. And that's all concrete there. I guess just as recently as 3-4 years ago, that was all open. Now they have a metal door in there that's all welded shut, so we couldn't actually get down in there. There's some pieces where it's broken away, so I could shine a light in there and see inside there. But it was a very interesting place, just a little bit out behind that the little concrete shed thing. There's like an air tube or something that goes down in there too, and they unfortunately have that welded shut, so you can't get in there, and there was no way to get past it. I would have loved to went in there myself and sat in there and meditated. We did outside. Brad had a great idea, and so we did a little service for all the women that he affected in his life, and so we did a little ceremony there and prayer. And then afterwards, I stayed in Theta and tapped into it, and it definitely has some very, very creepy energy there. I definitely got some unpleasant feelings and experiences of seeing certain things there as well too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Definitely a creepy place. I would have liked. I was setting up my cameras and stuff like that. Everybody else was walking around, and so a couple of my other friends that were there with us, they said there was a spot up above the hill where I was at that it freaked them out. They didn't want to stay out there very long. The sun was just going down when we were out there, and they got creeped out there. So there is definitely a lot of creepy things. Brad even said that he felt creeped out there. It was funny. Brad did a conference out there. Live streamed a conference out at the Ted Bundy place.
That's funny. Yeah, right now we're looking at the Donner Hill Monument.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy too. There's all kinds of things that happened right in that pass right there. The Donner Party came right through there, and it's also where Joseph Smith came through and laid claim to Salt Lake City and said this is God's place, and I guess put a flag there. There's another monument that was just down the road from us from there that celebrated Joseph Smith. So it's really amazing. There's quite a few things that happened right there in that spot. And unfortunately, Ted was one of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, kind of seemed to have perhaps smeared that area. But hey, that's kind of, I guess that's what we're talking about, right? I mean, stuff like this happens, and there's really not much we can do about it. There's going to be different things in these realities where I've always thought that there has to be good if there's going to be evil and vice versa because of even exchange or whatever you want to call it, when it comes to like alchemy and that kind of thing. I mean, I'm just talking out my neck a little bit. I know a little bit about it, but not a lot. So I'm by no means, trying to say I'm a magician or anything like that. But, the interesting thing that I got from you tonight was that this is all, not so much of what I just said. It's all about love. And I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that a little bit.
Well, and I think you really got to delve into it. I mean, it took me a long time to understand it. And then all of a sudden it was an aha moment when I was looking at this stuff. And we can't look at it as a human. We have to look at it as spirit. And when we look at it as spirit, we see it totally differently. And we're not so connected with what's going on this planet anymore. We're realizing we're having experience in learning love. Yes, I mean, some of the things I understand and stuff, I hate to just say, because then people are like, oh, well, I can just go kill anybody and there's no consequences. And truly, there's no consequences except for the consequences you'll deal with yourself. You'll have self reckoning eventually and stuff, because you will feel guilty. You carry the guilt for yourself. You carry the pain for yourself. It's nobody else but you. And so that's the thing. When you learn to love yourself, then you don't go out and murder and kill people and stuff, because there's a certain respect. And so, but when it comes in the eye of the creative energy of all that is, God, whatever you want to look at it, he's not going to punish you. He understands. He knows why the people have killed and why they felt the way they did to do the acts that they did. He understands, or I shouldn't say he, that energy understands fully. Sorry, that's just from my programs as a child, thinking that God's a he. It's
okay.
just
A lot of us are like that too. We also we've been programmed as well. We know, but it is interesting to know that the creator doesn't really have an agenda. So I'm assuming he doesn't have an agenda to send people to hell or anything like that.
No, the hell doesn't exist. That it doesn't even make sense to me. It never has. That's one thing that I think has helped separate me from religion, even as a young child. I mean, I would hear things and it just didn't make sense. And hell doesn't make sense at all, because when you go to heaven, Dave, if other family members that you love dearly aren't there with you, is that truly heaven? Maybe they made a mistake and drank and got in a car accident and accidentally killed somebody. Well, by the laws of the Bible and everything, you're going to hell. Right. And that doesn't make sense to me, because if I'm going to heaven and my kids are not there or any of my family members are there, is that truly heaven? No, that's not heaven. Just doesn't make sense to me. Everybody will be forgiven because it's just us. It's me that held all the guilt and all the hate towards everything. It's just me. It was me holding it towards myself, but I'm projecting it on other things. And that's what's truly happening. We're the great projectors. We deceive ourselves and we push it on to everybody else. But when you truly start to unravel what it is, it's you. I mean, one of the best things in Theta Healing, when I started taking class in Theta Healings, the very first thing we teach is that if you get triggered in class, it's you. Somebody might have said a smart ass remark, but if you get offended, it's something about you that made you get offended. Once you start to love yourself, you don't get offended when people say something bad about you. There's no reason. I mean, I might be an idiot, but unless I feel that way, I don't take offense to it. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, that, there's certain things like when, let's say, for instance, wifey and I are having a conversation and something comes up and kind of triggers me a little bit. It's whether it's, I'm a messy, person, and, like my car is dirty or something like that. And, I take offense to it. It's kind of like, hey, what's up with that? Why are you talking mess about me or something like that? So it's, what you're saying is once I start to love myself more, or when I start to deprogram myself more, those kind of remarks are going to be more like, whatever, it's just going to roll off.
Yeah. And you might look at it a different way, because she might actually be trying to help you, but,
right.
But, I know I get guilty of this too, especially because the way I was raised and everything. I mean, I was a very angry person as a kid and stuff, but I got a very loud voice. And so sometimes when I say certain things, I don't mean it the wrong way, but just because of my loud voice and my, I might get excited or something. People say, "Oh, stop yelling," and I'm like, "I'm not yelling," but it's just when we say certain things, we don't project it the right way sometimes, and so people might take it the wrong way when actually all we're trying to do is help. So yeah, when it comes down to it, it is really just us. And when if you get triggered by something, ask yourself, what are you learning from that? Anytime you're in a bad situation you don't like, you want to ask yourself, what am I learning from this? What is the most positive thing I can learn from this? And I am learning from this. And that's the only way you're going to actually step past that, because that's truly what's happening, is where our spirit is here to experience certain things. And when we're not learning it, then it just keeps hitting us over the head until we learn it. I mean, that's why a lot of times when we go through relationships, we end up with the same type of person having the same type of issues, is because we didn't learn the very first relationship. And so we got out of that and was totally asleep. And so when we got into the next relationship, all of a sudden, boom, I'm having the same problems. It's because I didn't resolve those issues. I didn't learn from my first one. And so, and I'll keep calling that back until I learn from it. Then after I learn from it, then of course, what am I going to do? I'm going to realize the next issue I got to remove and stuff. So it's a very interesting thing, but it's fun when we start to learn how to remove our programs and stuff. And that's truly what it's about. It's just programs. It's the way our parents programmed us and our family members around us.
Right.
And it's not their fault at all. It's because it's the way they were programmed. And so it just depends. It depends on what type of life they lived. Like if your family, like, well, my family, I come from a family of farmers. They're all from Wisconsin and stuff. So a lot of times there's scarcity. And so when you have scarcity, there's certain programs that are developed within that type of person. So when you have scarcity, then that scarcity can now transform into other things. Like you can have a scarcity for money, a scarcity for food, scarcity for friends, or, whatever. I mean, it can morph into so many different things. And that's what happens. We have new experience. It just morphs. I like to look at our programs kind of as cancer, because we'll get that first subconscious belief. And then as we have experiences around that are similar, we start to add to that belief, and it morphs into new different types of programs. And what's funny is now when we get to our age and we start to work on programs, it's like you're like working on something, something silly. Let me see if I can think of something. Like when me and my friend Don, we were teaching Theta classes, and we used to teach a bunch. And so when we were working on programs, we're like, all right, let's find a program that's really simple. So it just takes us a couple minutes to work on somebody in class, and we can use it as an example. Well, what's funny is they can morph so different that you never know what you're going to get. So we figured we'd do something simple, a nice little phobia. And that little phobia it was a phobia of spiders. It ended up that when we got done working with this lady, and it was about a 45-minute session and not a 15-minute session we thought, because the way things morph and stuff is it's amazing. And so this morphed into a fear of spiders. But basically what we came to is that when she was a little kid, she got her fingers caught in the door, and there was nobody around to get her out of there. And so she was trapped, stuck into the door, and she couldn't get her hand out of there. And so she lost her power. She felt like she was powerless because she couldn't save herself. And so somebody eventually came and of course saved her. But that was her experience, is she was powerless because she couldn't save herself. And so that powerless feeling now morphed into the fear of spiders and the fear of this and that. And it's really amazing. But what's also amazing is when you do the work and you actually work your way down through the subconscious to remove these programs, whatever is attached to that program that you just removes all of those attachments to it. And so you clear up so much out of your body. It's absolutely amazing. The way we are designed is so beautiful. And when you start to see it everything starts to make sense, why we're going through the yin and the yang, the duality that we have in this world between good and evil. And it truly is the yin and the yang. It's the battle. Well, it's not even a battle. It's that balance. And it's us that needs to learn to balance. If we think that our environment is very chaotic, that the world is chaotic today, we truly need to look inside and say, okay, how am I chaotic inside me? Because it's me, and I'll take responsibility. It's me creating the environment around me. It's amazing. And listen to Bruce Lipton, what he has to say and what he learned, like the biology of belief. I love that, because the stuff that I've learned, and then I look at that and it's just like, it goes together so smoothly. But when he first became a scientist, and the scientist he was working under, he gave him a little petri dish and he was studying cells. And he's like, if your cell starts dying, check the environment. And to me, that just means everything, because why are we in the womb for 9 months?
Right.
Because spirit is learning the environment it is coming into, and spirit is making that body grow into what it needs. And so a fascinating thing, and I might have learned this through Bruce Lipton, I'm not sure, but when you are in the womb, okay, and if the mother and the father are stressed out, you will actually grow bigger bones and stronger muscles. Why? Because you are stressed out and you are already in fight and flight syndrome as you come out in the baby. But the baby is coming out fighting, ready to fight its environment, because it is a stressful environment, okay? So now if the mother and father are in a very loving situation and the mother is pregnant and the baby is born, the baby will be born with a bigger frontal lobe, will be more connected to everything, be more in that space of love, because it was brought up in a loving energy. And so I truly believe we're in that womb, not only for the body to develop as well, but for our spirit to understand what environment are we coming out to, what happens after we get out of the womb. And this is what I work on, is our programs in the subconscious belief. I'm a Theta healer. Why? Because Theta healing, and Theta, you actually can work on these programs and change the programs. Theta, you can do things in the Theta brainwave, but one of the special things is this is how we program our subconscious beliefs. Okay, so this is also how we deprogram our subconscious belief, is by going into Theta. But what happens is after we're born, the first 2 years of our life, we're basically learning motor skills. Okay.
Okay.
So we get our motor skills down. So then from about the age of 2 till about the ages of 6, we're now in a constant Theta brainwave. We go in and out of other brainwaves as well, but you basically, as a child from 2 to 7 years old, thereabouts, you're in a constant Theta brainwave. And why is that? Because now you're programming your subconscious programs. Okay, you're now taking the beliefs of the people that are around you, the people you respect. And if you're like my dad's like, you got to work hard to make a living in the world, all these old programs.
Heard all my life.
Yeah. So he's programming with these, and life's hard, all these different things. And so these are the programs I'm getting, and this is the way I'm looking at life now, because these are the programs that run in my subconscious. And so that 2 to 7 years old, what are we doing now? We're downloading the programs that are telling us what we need for the environment around us, because the people we love and respect are telling us what's out there in the world. Oh, it's evil, it's scary, put fear of us, into us and stuff. Which again, we can't blame them, because that's what they were taught as well too. But it's just amazing. To me, everything has to do with our environment. And so you want a good picture of what's going on in your life, judge what's going on in the environment around you, and then you'll have a good idea of what you're projecting in life.
It's very fascinating work, Jeff. I am really hoping that either are you continuing your YouTube channel or any kind of videos or blog or anything like that right now?
Yeah, actually, I've been working really hard on, especially because I think the last time I was on your show, and I know the last time I was on with Gigi, I'm working on my website. Well, it's been a long year working on that, but I'm really pushing forward on it now, because I'm actually starting another show with 2 of my friends who we I started my original show with her and my friend Josh. It's my friend Christine Essex and Josh Carpenter. We're starting a show called Luminosity Wellness Show.
Okay.
And the first show I ever did about 5 years ago was the Luminosity Wellness. God, what did we have it? I forget now. Luminosity. Now I'm stuck on show. But anyhow, it was the very first show that I've ever done when I started to work at her center and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so we decided it's a great time with everything going on in the world for us to start another show. And so we're going to start another show here and bring in some really good guests. It's going to be a show that's basically out there to help people. We're going to do question and answerings and stuff like that. So we can go out there and really help people that are having issues right now. We want to do some fun stuff, but we want to do a lot of different topics. Like one I'm going to be pushing for is I really want to do a program and a show on abductees and how we can help them get through some of the trauma that they're going through, because it's a very serious thing out there. So it's going to be a wellness show, but I want it to be more of a variety of show, and I want to do a lot of fun stuff with it. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's a show that we're going to have a lot of fun with and be able to help a lot of people. It's going to most likely be, I forget what we agreed upon, but I think it's a 2 or 3 hour show we'll be doing once a week on a Wednesday. I'd love to have you on there as well too, Dave.
Absolutely.
And
thank you.
Cross promote, but yeah, so I'm getting that together. I'm also working on my website, and what's taking so long is because, everything that's happened with social media. We got to learn how to take everything into our own hands now. And, to me, I dropped my Facebook account and many other accounts that I had so many followers on. I was maxed out on Facebook. And so now I'm trying to regroup and stuff on Telegram, figure out how to even use Telegram. I'm so lost on that one. But I'm on MeWe with you as well, too. And I love MeWe. MeWe's been great so far.
Cool,
yeah, so I'm trying to rebuild, but I think this really sucks that I lost all these people. And I'm sure you're going through the same type of pains right now. So I don't want this to happen to me anymore. So I'm creating a website now that people can just go straight to my website. They can find me there always. I'm going to have my own forum there. So we'll have our own social media site. We'll be able to communicate that way as well. But I'm trying to make just a one-stop website that has everything that I'm doing. So it'll have everything from Theta Healing. Yes. It'll have my other shows, Consciously Rising, eTalk TV. Consciously Rising, for me, what that one is, if you guys aren't familiar with that, because I actually haven't done anything with Consciously Rising for a while, and I'll blame that on Brad and Eric, because as soon as I met them, everything changed. I went far right and just started chasing photos after I met them, but so that's when eTalk started. But Consciously Rising is one I started a while back after I quit doing my first show. And that one, basically what I'm doing is interviewing other spiritual people that can help us raise our conscious and just make us a better person and stuff. So they're going to probably be more short clips and just small interviews, just little things. And I'm also going to get on there as well too, and give just little tidbits. I'm going to try to keep small little 5-minute segments and stuff like that on just ways to help improve. But on my website, you're going to be able to find a lot more stuff than that. I'm going to have the membership programs where you can get in there and really with all the teachings I have, I'm going to try to figure out a way to make small little programs where people can do step-by-step stuff that's not going to take all this time out of your day, because truly it's just understanding what you need to be doing and then starting to practice. And the practice has to go by living your life. I mean, where I got today was by learning where I wanted to be, and then trying to make those steps every day to get there. Because what I was taught in life is nothing with who I am today. I mean, and thank God I was taught that way. I mean, I don't regret anything that's happened in my life, but I was taught very negative. I was a very angry person as a kid, and so it was a struggle getting to where I am today. And I don't want people to have to struggle like I did. And truly, it just takes a few things said to a person sometimes when all of a sudden they have that aha moment. They go like, really? I mean, for me, back in 06, I took a self-help training course. And in that self-help training course, some guy, the instructor, the facilitator was like, You know, it's your choice. You can be happy or you can be mad. And I'm like, what the F did that guy just say?
Exactly.
I'm like, it's my choice. I never even knew that. I never even had a clue it was my choice. But it is my choice. And it's everybody's choice out there. It's your choice every morning when you wake up. And if you feel depressed, that was your choice to feel that way.
Right.
If you feel like you're suffering, that was your choice to feel that way. Me, you see me, I mean, if you've watched me in other shows and stuff, I'm happy, giddy guy. It's because that's what I choose to be every day. That's what I want my life to be. You know, I used to be angry all the time. And when I started to feel happy, that was really strange and weird. Now it's the opposite. I worked so hard to, and it wasn't hard work. It was just being diligent every day and knowing what I was working for. But now I'm happy every day. So when I start to feel mad or upset, which still happens,
yes,
I notice it right away because I'm no longer happy. And so that's my trigger to say, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? Let me evaluate my scenario and why am I not happy? And then usually all it takes is for me to just stop for a minute, relax, take that deep breath and go, what energy do I want to project? What energy do I want to be? And then I choose that energy. And I choose that feeling. And this is where feeling is such a critical thing on taking control of your life is what do you feel right now? And what would you like to feel? Because that is your choice. You create your feelings. And that's something nobody knows. I mean, nobody ever taught me that before. Nobody said, hey, Jeff, it's your choice on what feeling you're going to choose from day to day. You know,
well, not too many people know, you know, they don't realize that they have options. So therefore you're not going to find out from other people who haven't been taught that yet. So,
and that, yeah, that's it. But that's what's happening in our society. We just don't know certain things, and we're just going blindly. And when we go blindly, our subconscious programs are controlling us. When you become awake, when you're enlightened, to me, that's a person that now is an aware person, and that's a person asking questions.
Yes,
that's an aware person, because none of us are perfect. You know, I like to think I'm perfect, but I make plenty of mistakes. But if I think I'm perfect, then that's a mistake all in itself. I realize I'm flawed, but I'm beautiful in my flaw, and I'm perfect in my flaws. Is the way I like to look at it. You know. But flaws are a great thing. When I make a mistake, I don't look at it the same way anymore either. When I was younger and I made mistakes, it would piss me off because I hate wasting energy. That's one of my big pet peeves, is wasting my energy. But when I made a mistake, it really pissed me off back in the day. But now I have a whole new understanding and realization. When I make a mistake, that's a place for learning. That's a place for gathering new information, because now I can sit back and go, oh, wait a minute, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Now let me reevaluate it. Let me try to approach it again. And will it work this time? So every time I make a mistake, I'm actually learning and I'm adding to my repertoire, and I'm learning new things, and it's making me a more experienced person. So now that I realize this, and it's not a bad thing, it's another one of those beautiful gifts from the creative energy of all that is to say, here, you know, the mistake isn't a mistake. It's a beautiful gift of love to have more understanding and more knowledge.
right.
And so now that I understand it that way, hey, it doesn't upset me at all.
Good to know that we have these options and that we can change these things on a dime if we have to. Sometimes I know that once in a while I have to do that during the day. But yeah, I mean, it's a process. It's definitely a process. And I know I've gone through certain things like that before. And this definitely sounds very positive, and it will definitely help everyone out for what we're going through. So I encourage everyone to please go to www.jeffrenel.com. Jeff, we are out of time, and I just wanted to ask you one more time: is that the main place to go to? Is your website for jeffrenel.com?
Yeah, and my website's still under construction, but you can go to it. You can find little things. I'm trying to get things cleared up so you can get some tidbits here and there. And as things start going, I'm just going to keep expanding it and get more information in there.
Fantastic. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me and talk to the audience. And again, what's the time frame for your new shows coming out?
You know, I think we're still about a month away with the Luminosity Wellness Show. I plan on this week starting to get going on some new Consciously Rising shows. and I got to get into the editing room and start editing some of the stuff like we were just talking about for E-Talks. And E-Talks, I'm going to start going out, and I got a couple of benches planned this summer to go out and do and film that. So I should have some stuff out soon.
All right, fantastic. Well, Jeff, thanks again for just hanging out and just giving us all this insight. I will see you in Utah one of these days. I promise. I'll head out there and we'll go uphill and do some weird stuff.
Sounds wonderful, man. Thank you for having me on. This went way too quick. I just felt like we were just getting rolling.
I know it always happens that way. And man, we'll definitely have to have you back on the show. I really appreciate you coming on. So thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it too, Dave, man. I really enjoy it. So thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. Just a reminder, Beyond the Strange is owned and copyrighted by Dave Cruz and cannot be simulcast, rebroadcasted, or copied without written consent of Beyond the Strange. Also, the views and opinions are not necessarily that of Beyond the Strange, hosts, guests, and affiliated networks. Listeners are always encouraged to conduct research and formulate their own opinions. This coming Monday on the Fringe FM and on Spreaker, we will be talking with Native American elder James White. We will be talking about Bigfoot and a lot of other things. You don't want to miss that show. So definitely come and hang out and stay strange. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great evening. And we'll see you next time. Hasta.